What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We made it over here. We're at Brian's shop, B&K Performance, putting this thing on the lift. If y'all saw the last video, we've got a thrust issue with the motor. So we're gonna pull the oil pan off of it. We're also gonna go ahead and pump the motor. We got copper head gaskets, and copper head gaskets are known to seep a little bit, but when you're cranking this thing over, you can hear a high and low. It sounds like there's one cylinder, maybe a couple cylinders are a little bit low on compression. That could be a potential problem. You know, we may need to take the whole motor out. We may have to take the whole motor out anyway if the crankshaft needs to be turned. So we're gonna see. This thing still runs strong. It just sounds like it's got a little bit of a skip to it. It's got some valve train noise still. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but we're gonna work on it. We're gonna snatch the front end off of it, do a compression test on it, see if they're all fairly close. I mean, as long as we ain't got one that's like at 90 or 100 PSI and all the other ones are at like 160 or 180, that's going to be fine for us. Biggest thing today is we're going to see if we need to take the crankshaft out and get it machined, or if we can just roll a new thrust bearing in there. Big block Chevy, man. I want a big block Chevy in my life so bad I can't stand it. Hopefully at some point we're going to get that. So let's pull this thing out real fast, see what we got. If y'all want to support the channel, head on over to turbojohnracing.com. We got hats, t-shirts. Hoodie season is coming. You can get yourself some hoodies. I appreciate everything you guys do. Thanks. All right, guys, so JW and Brian are teasing me about big block Chevy. They know I want big block Chevy stuff, and they are putting together big block Chevy stuff too. So at some point I'm gonna get some big block Chevy. Pulled all the plugs out of it. This thing has got idle time and drive time on it, no runs. That's why the plugs still look practically brand new. All I did was put them in, idle it, and drive it around. So we pulled all the plugs out. We're gonna do a compression test real fast. One of the benefits of having a button up here on the top is you can kind of do it yourself. But since I still have been lazy and have not installed a button, somebody's gonna have to get in the car to push the button. Now, one of the things you want to look at when you're doing a compression test, all the plugs out so that it spins over fast. Compression tester, I wore my old one out, so Brian's got one here. Oh, he got a fancy one. That's a Matco. That's Matco.
Is it a Matco?
Yeah.
Then I meant to give you the cheap one.
Oh, well, what are you trying to say? Look, ain't that Matco?
Yeah.
See, look, he got a good one. So the key thing is, so this thing pumps. You want it to pump the same number of times, but the first pump is your best indication on the health of the cylinder. So like if the first one on all of them goes to 75, and then it slowly creeps up, that's fine, that's where it's gonna go. And then you got a max, and you wanna count the number of pumps this thing hits. That's why you get all the plugs out of it, and that way you get the same amount. You'll feel this thing on every compression stroke. I normally try to do it like 4 times, but the first one, the first hit, is the one that has to be, you got to be careful of, because if you have one that is like 30 on the first one and it gradually pumps up to 90, then obviously that one's bad. Or if it goes to 60 and then almost gets to the top, then, you know, it's still the same. It's just not quite as good. All right, let's do this real fast. All right, guys, so we just pumped the whole motor, and so number 1 cylinder. So if you look, we got, this is number 1, 3, 5, and 7. That's the first pump number, and then that's the final number. So 90, 150. This bank over here looks halfway decent. The other bank on the other side, that one's got 100 on number 8, and it was only 60, and then 110. So these back 2 holes over here are not even close. That 125 and 135 right there, that's not real concerning. But those 2 back there in the back are very, very low. So what we're gonna do real fast, I'm gonna show you how we look at this thing. Got the compression gauge here. So he's gonna bump it over. If it's on a weird stroke, the first stroke might not be good, so we may have to do it a couple times, but go ahead and bump it, JW. Go ahead and hold it like we did a minute ago. So there you go, that was 4 or 5, and you saw the first number jumped up. Let's do it one more time. Yeah. So that's pretty close. So we got 80, 85, 90, and 145 was what we got earlier, and we're 140, 145 or something there. So what I'm gonna do, Brian had a good point. You know, this is an all aluminum motor, so sometimes valve lash messes with stuff. So we're gonna snatch the valve cover off on this side, and we'll take a look at it and see if there's a issue with the lash. Maybe it's too tight, or maybe it's too loose. So we're gonna mess with that real fast, and I'll tell you what we got, and then we'll try to pump it again. All right, guys, so what we're doing here is we're trying to decide if we need to take the motor out. We hadn't even pulled the oil pan off yet. If we got cylinders that are way down below the rest and it's way funky, then the whole motor needs to come apart, probably needs rings. We need to go through everything, new head gaskets to seal it up. So what we're trying to do is decide if we got to do that even before we put oil. The oil pan's not going to take long to take off. But remember, I did the valves day before yesterday at a track. Motor was hot, and I set the valve lash at 12 thousandths. And thinking back on that, that's probably not the proper decision, because now the motor is cold, and these are dead tight. They have no lash. And if you have an aluminum motor with an aluminum head, you're supposed to set the lash, it's supposed to add 10. So if you want 22, you set it on 12 cold, and then it goes up to 22. So that may be our issue with the lower cranking compression, because they're all tight. Some of them are tighter than others. I've got a little bit of lash on this, a little bit of lash, but that one right there has got none, and none. So we're going to back the lash off. Motor's room temperature. We're going to relash them all at 12, and we're going to repump it. Guys, so here is the proper lash. It helped a little bit, but not much. Go ahead. So we're at like 110. It was on 100 or 110. It's about the same. So Brian just made a suggestion to, what are we going to do?
Well, we can either use the, I can't even think of the name of it right now. I can float a cylinder with my gauges and do leak down on it. Or put air to it and just see if it's leaking through the valves or through the rings.
See which one's leaking. So these rings, we couldn't remember if we put any rings in it last year or not, and I think we did. The valves, Danny touched up all the valves last time, did a valve job. Now remember, these valves, I mean, this methanol is corrosive. I mean, it kills the valve seats and the valves.
I've been running it forever, but man, you gotta keep up.
So I mean, it's very possible that, I mean, we need a valve job. So we're going to keep pushing on this and see. Hold on. All right, guys. So yeah. We put compressed air, took the valves off of that cylinder there, and this is my coolant. We definitely have a neat head gasket here. Well, I better not take that off, because that is blowing through the caps. So we got a neat head gasket for sure, or lifted. All right, guys. So 100%, the heads have got to come off. I mean, the head. I mean, that's what it is. So we're going to go ahead and snatch the motor out. We could just pull the heads off of it here. Okay, we're gonna pull the pan off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pan off of it and see what the crankshaft looks like, see what the thrust looks like. If that looks okay, then we'll just do head gaskets in the car, and then we'll be set. So there you go. And it is leaking out of the exhaust and the intake valve as well. You can hear it. So valve seats need to be touched up. Can do a valve job on the heads this week, and we'll see what we got to do on the bottom end. Here we go. All right, guys, we got the pan off of this thing. I have not pushed or pulled yet. All we had to do was loosen this one side up and it just popped right off. So everything looks pretty good and sporty down here. So we know it's got a thrust issue, so it's back here. If we take, let me grab a screwdriver real fast. So here is the thrust. Watch this.
Well, that's forward. Let me go backwards somewhere.
It's about 40 thousandths when we measured it externally. It's moving a lot.
Yeah,
so we'll pull the cap off of it real fast and see if the crank is destroyed. All right, guys. Yeah, we got problems. We got the oil pump off of it, and if you look real close at the thrust bearing, let's see if I can get a good light on it. It is grooved and it has cracks in it. Not a big deal on the cracks. I mean, we're just gonna have to weld it up. We just cannot. We're not gonna be able to. We're not gonna be able to just roll a bearing in it. Let's see if we get it done. I've had worse. I've done worse. So now we gotta take this thing out real fast. Let's get the motor out, get the heads off of it. Yeah. You excited?
This is what's next in store for Killdozer.
Ooh.
We're not playing no more. We're gonna go the big block Chevrolet route and get rid of all the LS stuff. So I'm gonna have a bunch of LS stuff up for sale soon. If anybody wants anything, let me know. Hit me up.
Running. We just done a video on it.
Got two running 5.3s. One's a rod and piston motor, and the other one's stock block with cam springs, ported heads. So we got all my LS stuff.
We might all be big block soon.
I'm getting rid of this small block stuff.
LS stuff is good,
venture.
but big block, we gotta have big block power to run front track. If we want to run front side, we need big block. Period.
I just figured, man, I'm tired of messing with these small blocks. I can't never get them right.
The big
Blowing
blocks,
them up all the time.
it is heavier, but I mean,
well, see, my car needs 160 pounds on the nose.
so you'll be good anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be happy with a big block in mine. I want big block power.
I seen a Donovan aluminum big block Chevrolet block the other day for $4,200.
Woo! I might be selling this one.
It was the wrong bore. I'd have been calling.
So y'all check it out. Go on his Facebook. He followed Brian Fondren on Facebook. He's gonna start posting stuff soon. He's got to figure out exactly what he's going to ask for everything. But LS stuff coming for sale. Maybe a small block Chevrolet for sale. No, I ain't gonna sell mine. I'm small block. I'm hemmed in. Small block Chevrolet life.